Hi, in this lesson we're going to talk about me. My name is Keith Welch and I have 30 years in the engineering industry. Yes, that makes me old. I have 10 plus years in .NET and 10 years in mobile. I kind of have to chuckle about the 10 plus years in .NET. I recently saw someone who was asking for an experienced .NET person and they wanted 10 plus years. Well, it's only been around for about 11, so that gets a little bit tricky. But I'm one of those special few that was on the initial beta of the first version of .NET. So I'm pretty comfortable in that environment, which is why I found Mono so interesting, of course. I have experience in mobile technologies, starting with Windows Mobile and moving on to Android. I also have worked in ASP.NET and WCF services. In the past, I've also done a lot in Windows Forms before mobile and web got much more interesting than Windows Forms. I've done a lot in SQL Server and data migrations. There's an interesting combination in there because I've spent the 10 years in mobile, but also on the SQL Server and data migration side, I've had jobs that have worked with millions and millions of records of data. So it's almost like you're working on big metal and little mobile devices at the same time. And that may seem like a little bit of a contradiction, but it's actually a very interesting combination because so often mobile devices are talking to large databases on WCF SQL servers that need to move data at large volumes. Being able to work in both of those worlds has been an advantage for me, and I encourage you to pursue that as well. Not only is it a nice sales feature for yourself, but also in practical terms, when you're actually working on a project, you can work both ends of the project, which means that if there's a problem in a mobile device calling a service, there's no worry about fighting and determining whose code doesn't work. It's yours. But of course, that's not going to happen to you. In terms of languages, it's the usual Microsoft stack, C#, VB, C and C++, and also some Java, and the web technologies, JavaScript and jQuery. And of course, I'm really comfortable in SQL as well. I started my own company called Mooseworks Software back about 10 years ago when I started getting involved in mobile. And we specialize in mobile developer tools and do development consulting in mobile and the other areas that I'm comfortable with. I also have some associates who are really talented, particularly in the area of design. I myself am not a particularly artistic person, so I filled that in with some really good people. You can reach me at keith@mooseworkssoftware.com should you be interested in that. One thing I'd like to add about Mooseworks Software is that it started out as a night and weekends pursuit. I was just creating little mobile controls and created a little small niche in that area to sell it. There weren't a whole lot of competitors, but it's not a particularly big market either. So you could say I was kind of a medium-sized fish in a very small pond. But as time goes on and you get some expertise and some reputation, things grow. So much like I said in the wrap-up, developing part-time away from any kind of day job that you may have is a great way to experiment with interesting things that you find interesting and to develop some independence perhaps down the line should you want to pursue that. But it's certainly a nice way to be able to create more skills, but also to do some fun things that you want to do as opposed to things that other people want you to do. So with that, that's the end of the course, and I thank you for listening.